Mhm. Okay, file hold collection of records. Okay. So basically the file is storage media. It is going to hold the some data. It can be a record in terms of rows and columns. It can be an image. It can be a text. It can be anything. Yeah. So basically, a file is a storage media which stores data permanently. Because there are two types of memory we used to have. One is permanent memory. One more is temporary memory. When the processing is going on by the computer, obviously, the data will be stored in the form of RAM, random access memory. Access memory is basically it is a temporary memory. Once the system is shut down, it will be vanish the complete data. It will be no more available. For that, certain drawbacks will be there. So let's suppose you wanted to track certain things like tomorrow is rain is going to come or not. How do you predict tomorrow rain is going to come? If we record today's temperature, humidity, climatic condition like outlook or windy, all this based on historical situations, will we analyze it and tomorrow will predict that the tomorrow rain is going to come up to probability based. Are you clear? So if you want to track such kind of things, storing the data, erasing it when it is not necessary is not a solution. We have to store the data as a historical data. One find it will be useful for you. Yes or no? For such situations, we are going to deal with the files concept. Files is a storage media. Whatever the things you are going to do with that, it will be stored permanently. In future, it will be useful. It will be a relocatable. It can be handed over to someone. There are much more things are going to be useful for us. But right in the universe, broadly, we categorize files into two types. One is text files. Second one is binary files. Any file you see in the digital media, yes, binary files only holds zeros and ones. Binary is nothing but. Rest of all the things will be considered as text files. Text files consisting of alphabets, special characters. Whatever you are seeing symbols over the keyboard, all of them are going to have as part of your resume, as part of your mail, as part of a document. But binary files are not readable. You know something? Why? Because the text files are going to hold, text files are what are the examples? TXT files, docx files, SLX, Excel files, CSV files, .py, .py, .c, .java. Isn't it? All these files are going to hold text that will be human able to understand, able to read it, obviously, right? Whereas if you look at binary files, images, .exe files, yes or no, videos, all these will be stored internally in the memory in the form of a binary only or in the form of a hexadecimal. The images and videos, we used to call them to store them in the form of a pixels. In the form of a pixels. Pixels again are going to be treated as a bytes. Bytes are measurable in terms of binary. 8 bits are is equal to 1 byte. 1024 bytes is equal to 1 kilobyte. 1024 kilobyte will be 1 megabyte. 1024 megabytes is going to be 1 GB. Likewise, however, the minute level, the micro level of memory or data will be measured in the form of a binary, in the form of a bits. Collection of bits will be treated as a bytes. Obviously, there will be higher level of measuring the data size. Clear? The point is here, how to deals with the files concept, even though in Windows operating system we are dealing with. Yes or no? We are able to create a file. Let's suppose, yeah, yeah. So here I am going to create some file. Yes or no? The file is that I'll be create. Let's 1 second, just hold on. Here I'll be created. There is a text file. What I'm doing here, the today's date is 7th. Are you clear? And we can write the data also manually. Clear? Save. Clear? To create a one file, to write something manually, how Windows operating system is allowing is a matter. But this entire the process can also be done through writing a program. Means every option, let's suppose I wanted to replace this particular file name. Go here. There is a rename option, right? Rename. I'm going to create as sample. It has been changed. My question is, how do you able to replace this particular name is a matter. How you are renamed it. What is the program behind? There is an option called as a replace, which is a rename. Existing name is replaced or renamed as other name. My question is, what program it has? And if you wanted to delete, right click on it. There is a show more. Just you click on delete, the file has been deleted. Clear? Whatever the options through graphical user interface, like Windows provided GUI, we can create a file, because this menu is called as a graphical user interface, isn't it? We can sort ascending order, descending order, using name or date, modified type or size. All these options are graphically designed, but every option has its own program. That is supposed to be noticed, because you are writing the program not for time pass. If you learn this concept such a way that tomorrow you're supposed to be build this kind of applications, that time you will be get to know what conceptually you have learned programmatic related mechanisms. Learning programmatic mechanisms not to be learned and forgetting about all this. There will be miscellaneous concepts you have learned and you have forgot. But programming or not like that. Programming has set of mechanisms. They have been developed to implement problem to be solved. Are you clear? Let's suppose matrix multiplication. Where do you use matrix multiplication? For what purpose you will be used? Have you used ever matrix multiplication? in day-to-day life, not at academic life. You have written exam. I'm asking you, if I ask you, if I ask you that, can you calculate the interest rate for the 10,000 for 1 year? You will be apply that PTR by 100, right? In a similar way, where do you apply matrix multiplication? I'm asking. Transpose of matrix, identity matrix, all this where you have applied? You have learned, you have forgot. Again, you are sitting in the class. Yes or no? See, I used to be surprised, right? Till BTech, you have learned all the arithmetic, reasoning, quantitative, M1, M2, statistics, probability, everything. After BTech, again you are joining into government coaching for taking all arithmetic reasoning. Don't you think fun? Because whatever the faculty will teach in the class, everything you are already aware. Means you are forgetting more or less, But this time is not to be learning and forgetting situation. This time is to apply your knowledge, whatever you have studied from beginning to till date. As you are unable to compute the things, human capabilities are what? This much. I already shown you. You cannot find out factorial of 20. Can you find out factorial of 20? I'll give 20 minutes time. Tell me what is the factorial of 20. No, no, no. You shouldn't. If you use the phone, then again you are depending on the calculator, right? There is a competition between human capabilities, obviously electronic computational capabilities. A computer can execute 1 millions of instructions per a second, MIPS. Human can execute 2 instructions per a second. 0.001% your capability when compared with a computer. If you wanted to solve depositing of a money at a bank, if 10 account holders are there and 10 accountants are there, per 10 minutes, one person can be served. Per day, hardly 100 people can be served to deposit the money to transfer other people. But now, just because of payment gateways, millions and trillions of the people can be able to transfer the amount with a particular second. Does the program is making more powerful in our life, or human bankers are playing more role? Obviously, programs are served more and more to the people. Clear? So you are writing the program to solve the problem where the human intervention is making trouble to you, taking more time. BP sugars will increase, time is consuming, money will be consuming. It's all problems are involved into the serving the people. Let's suppose there is a visiting to the hospital, taking the appointment through online. Which one is better? Because anyhow, even though if you are with a great trouble, if you visit the hospital, do you think the doctor will check you? Are they going to touch you that whether your heart is properly working or not? Somewhere you will be sick, doctor will ask you that what kind of problems you have. Clear? Let's yes, go ahead. I hope you have understand the difference between two types of files. In the universe, in the digital world or in artificial intelligence world, you are going to see only two types of files, either text files, either binary file. Your resume is a text file. Yes or no? Your Excel file is a text file. Your data set is going to hold a majority in terms of .csv file. What is the full form of .csv? Comma separated value file, right? In database management files. Obviously, like MP4 or maybe JPEG or maybe PNG, all these will be comes under binary file. Let us show you how the data is going to be stored in a binary file. I'm just choosing one file. Yeah. I'm converting it. You see how the binary data will be stored for that. You see, this data is going to be stored into, yes, this data is look like in what form? It is purely matrices, rows and columns. If you want to see the diagonal, like lower boundary or upper boundary of an image, obviously what happens here? 1 second, just hold on. Right? You will be perform the, this is going to be upper boundary, this is going to be a lower boundary. Lower triangle and upper triangle, right? This is the how exactly image recognition would happen. Your images are purely stored in the form of a binary. Firstly, this portion is going to check. If this portion doesn't match, it will be go ahead. Otherwise, it will be divide like this. It will be divide like this. It is look like a 7-segment decoder. All the portion of your images are trying to be checked. Even the biometrics also like that only. Because our biometric will be an image. It will be stored into a computer and it will be stored into computer, which means it will be there in the form of a binary. Whenever you keep your thumb, the equivalent binary values are equivalent to this. Sometimes, this ladies, females are going to use rangolis, right? That time this biometrics does not match. So again, they'll change the finger. Are you clear? It's purely compared in this particular form. Yes or no? See, understand, sometimes we do understand up to some level, but understanding the computer storage, how it happens, is the very important matter. Most of the people might not have that much level of exposure. Clear? That's a point to be understand here. Yes. Okay. And let's go ahead with, yeah. Now the point is here. Okay. Anyhow, whether it is a text file or my binary file, it doesn't matter. What operations you are likely to perform? Operations performed on any files. It can be a text file, it can be a binary file, doesn't matter. What operations you will be performed, which means what? You wanted to create a resume. What you will do? You are going to create a file, right? There is a function called as a create function, which is going to be a equivalently open in Python. If you want to create a new fresh file to create your resume, in formal vocabulary, we call it as a creating a file. But in a programmatic manner, there is a built-in function available from the operating system point of view module that's called as open. It's a built-in function. The open function will ask you to pass parameter path where you would like to create a file, in C drive, in E drive, F drive, users, public, where you would like to create a file. That path has to be provided as a parameter. Then there is the next parameter is that for which purpose you wanted to create a file. You wanted to read the file, you want to write the file, you wanted to update the file. For what purpose? There are, see, authentications are different, authorizations are different. Authentication means what? What does it mean? Authentication means? Please tell me, what's the difference between authentication and authorization? Providing the credentials to check whether you are valid or not is going to be authentication. It can be a 2-level authentication, it can be 3-level authentication, it can be N. Authorization means, do you have a privilege to read the data? write the data, update the data, that all will be comes under authorization. Correct. On a one particular file, sometimes you do have only read permission. You cannot update it. Correct. Absolutely. If you have a write permission, we can write it also. Let's suppose your Aadhaar number. Your Aadhaar is yours only. Can you edit yourself? It has to go to Aadhaar center. You have only read only permission. Even though you are only the authorized person for the Aadhaar. Bank also same. You are an account holder of an Aadhaar. Can you update the address with your own knowledge or with your own permission? You have to check the, you have to visit the branch. You have to prove that you have changed address. You have to provide a authenticated little proper proofs. Then they would be change your address. It will take little time also. Are you clear? Now, when you create a file for the write operation, we will be create W. These are all, programmatically we have to understand. If you want to read, let's suppose there is a PDF file. PDF file will allow to only read the data. Are you clear? Great. If there is a file is existing, I don't want to be erase the existing data. I wanted to append a new data. Then we are going to have there is a mode. This A, W, R are the access modes, authorizations modes. If you create like this, the file will be getting created in a desired location. This I'm talking about programmatically how to create a file. Are you clear? Once the file will be created, we might be read. For that, R will be specified. Right? If you want to write, it's a function where will be specified W. If you want to update, then A will be specified. At a time, if you wanted to perform writing and reading, W plus or R plus will be specified. I'll show you all of them. I have prepared for you, the respective materials. I'm just verbally and I'm just demonstrating to you. I'll be sharing you with you, whatever the prepared material it has. Yes. The files concept, it provide a range of built-in functions to handle the files. It's, for creating, for deleting, for reading, all these operations to be performed. To open a particular file, there is Python will be provided this kind of built-in functions, open myfile.txt, and to specify the file modes. Just now I told you, right? Exactly. To read the data from the file, R will be specified as a mode of access. W is to write, A is to append. Similarly, R plus is to be read and write, isn't it? So whether it is a text file, by default it is a T. But if it is a binary file, there will be P will be appended. Like R you have written, right? BR will be written, binary read. WR means writing W, binary writing. Like that, the B will be specified in before, Yeah, you specify here WR plus RB, isn't it? Like that will be specified. Clear? So anyhow, all this I'll be demonstrate to you with a proper hands-on. Just you just refer this particular material for your sake, just for your reference. You can go through all this. I'll be explain to you about how the flushing would happen, how the seek method will use, how the tell method is used. Many things you're supposed to be understand. I think I'll be explained to you in a hands-on session rather than showing you all these theoretical things, right? Yeah. Now, see, I think, are you holding laptops? You have laptops? Okay, nice. Okay, rest of the people, can you open your laptops? It's online users, even Maheshwari, Srinivas and Swarup. Are you holding laptop?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope you are using PyCharm, right?
Yes, sir.
So please try to go through the PyCharm and try to be, the way whatever I'm doing here, right? So I'm giving demonstration here, demo about how to create a file and how to write a text over the file. This is my demonstration. Clear? Yeah. So I already told you that in a desired place, in a specific desired place, wherever you wanted to create a file, that you need to see, file is a storage media, right? It maintains a pointer. See, let's suppose, here if you look at somebody name is Vamshi, there can be another Vamshi would be there. I cannot take Vamshi name as the unique name. There is another is a roll number. Roll number will be call it as an address of the Vamshi. There might be names will be conflicted or alias, but roll numbers will be unique. When I'm dealing with the Vamshi 1, I'll be deals with him with a pointer or address. Such a thing will be called, here there is a pointer, file pointer. Here this is user defined, which means what? ఏదైనా ఒక ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అయిపోతుంది, దాన్ని మనము రీచ్ అవ్వడానికి FPTR is going to be a pointer. It is an object pointer which will be pointing to the memory location called file. ఆ ఫైల్ మీద మనం ఏం చేయాలన్నా ఒక పర్టికులర్ పాయింట్ని క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ హైపర్ లింక్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ HTML-లో X మీద క్లిక్ చేస్తే Y ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. అంటే Y ఓపెన్ అవుతుందంటే Y యొక్క అడ్రస్ Xలో ఉండాలి కదా. దాన్ని మనం లింక్డ్ లిస్ట్లో సి లాంగ్వేజ్ C++లో లింక్డ్ లిస్ట్లో మనం ఒక నోడ్లో డేటా పాయింట్ అని అడ్రస్ పాయింట్ అని స్పెసిఫై చేస్తాం. గుర్తుందా? అడ్రస్ ఆఫ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ నోడ్ విల్ బి హోల్డింగ్ ఇన్ అ ప్రీవియస్ నోడ్. అరే క్లియర్? అట్లాగని ఈ ఫైల్ని మనం క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు దాంతో మనం డీల్ చేయాలి అని అంటే వీ హ్యావ్ టు క్రియేట్ ఇట్. దిస్ ఫైల్ పాయింటర్ అనేది ఫిక్స్ కాదు. నువ్వు ఏదైనా చేయొచ్చు, X తీసుకోవచ్చు, Y తీసుకోవచ్చు, Z తీసుకోవచ్చు. నేను మీనింగ్ఫుల్గా FPTR అని పెట్టుకుంటున్నాను, ఫైల్ని లొకేట్ చేసే ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్, ఒక పాయింటర్. ఆర్ యు క్లియర్? నౌ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు యూస్, there is a function is called open. Are you seeing? See, if you use this integrated development environment, integrated development అంటే ఇది PyCharm అనేది ఒక IDE, integrated development environment, which will help you to auto complete. అంటే నువ్వు జస్ట్ ఇట్లా క్లిక్ చేయగానే అన్ని దానికి సంబంధించిన ఫంక్షన్స్ కనిపిస్తున్నాయి కదా. ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్ని మనము పర్సనలైజేషన్ కాన్సెప్ట్ విల్ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్. Even Google also help you whenever you are trying to search something else. What if you give, there are many queries are going to be shown to you what you are searching for. కొన్నిసార్లు మన వాళ్ళకి ఎలా సెర్చ్ చేయాలో కూడా తెలియదు. సింటాక్టికలీ దే విల్ బి మేక్ మిస్టేక్స్. వీటిని అవాయిడ్ చేయడం కోసమే వాయిస్ అసిస్టెంట్స్ కాన్సెప్ట్ వచ్చింది ఇప్పుడు గూగుల్లో కానీ ఎక్కడైనా కూడా. వాయిస్ మీద ఇట్లా క్లిక్ చేసి సంథింగ్ యూ సే ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ వర్డ్స్ సచ్ ఎ వే దట్ ఇట్ విల్ బి కన్వర్ట్ voice to text, such a way that YouTube will understand it and it will be give you the relevant documents to you. Are you clear? Understand that. So I'm taking files, open function. I'm taking open function. Where you would like to create a file now? I wanted to create a file over here. Let's suppose there is a PC, C drive, user, public. Here I wanted to create a file. అంటే ఇది పాత్ అనమాట. సో నేను C డ్రైవ్, యూజర్స్, అరిసి యూజర్స్ లోపల పబ్లిక్ లోపల I want to create the file. Now What is the file name? Sample act dot txt. This is my file name. Are you clear? You are creating a file, okay, but for what purpose you wanted to create? ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఇన్ని ఆప్షన్స్ పెట్టొచ్చు మనం. Are you clear? Now here I would like to give W. What is the meaning of a W? We want to create a file. Afterwards, we wanted to open it, and it needs to allow write some kind of a text. Are you clear? Okay. This line will only create a file with a proper access mode. What exactly happens for the above? Here, see, writing the comments, I already told you in the answer classes, it improves the readability of the program. No comment రాస్తే ఎదుటి వాడికి అర్థం అవ్వాలి. The above line create a file with desired location with access permission as right. Clear? So please, if you go to industry, I think writing the comments will be a metadata about a data. నువ్వు రాస్తావు, ఏదో చేస్తావు, నువ్వు కంపెనీ వెళ్ళి వదిలేసిపోతావు. ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ మీద ఇంకోటి ఎవడన్నా వచ్చి ఏదన్నా ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్ చేయాలి అంటే వాడికి ఏం అర్థం అవ్వదు. సో ద క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ యువర్ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్, ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఆడిటబుల్. వేరే వాడు నీ డాక్యుమెంట్ని చూస్తాడు. సో ప్లీజ్, ద క్యాజువల్ attitude of a man will always damages your reputation. Try to be professional while writing something else. నీవు నీ కోసం రాయట్లేదు, కంపెనీ డబ్బులు ఇస్తుంది, కంపెనీ కోసం ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తున్నావు. బట్ ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లైఫ్ లాంగ్ ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. దాన్ని ఎన్హాన్స్ చేయొచ్చు, డిలీట్ చేయొచ్చు, అప్డేట్ చేయొచ్చు, ఏమైనా చేయొచ్చు. ఆర్ యు క్లియర్? ప్లీజ్ కైండ్లీ అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ థింగ్. సో దర్ఫోర్ writing the comments should be an habit of you. Clear? Great. Okay, file is created. Now what's the next point? Create or else code to write desired text within the file. Within the file. నువ్వు క్రియేట్ చేసిన ఫైల్లో I need to write something else. Clear? Okay. If then you have to take a reference of file pointer. హోల్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అయింది కదా, ఆ ఫైల్ని పాయింట్అవుట్ చేసేది ఫైల్ పాయింటర్, FPTR. I told you that FTR is not a built-in. It is user-defined. నాకు నచ్చినట్టు నేను రాసుకున్నా, నీకు నచ్చినట్టు FP ఏదైనా రాసుకోవచ్చు. ఇట్స్ నాట్, దర్ ఇస్ నో రెస్ట్రిక్షన్ అట్ ఆల్. బట్ నేను ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా ఏంటంటే, వెన్ యూ రైట్ సమ్ కోడ్ ఫర్ డొమైన్ వైజ్, హాస్పిటల్ డొమైన్లో రాసేటప్పుడు ఆ రెలవెంట్ టర్మినాలజీని తీసుకోవాలి. పేషెంట్ ఐడి, పేషెంట్ ఫైల్, పేషెంట్ రికార్డ్, ఎస్ ఆర్ నో, డాక్టర్స్ రికార్డ్, రైట్? Whereas if you come to bank, customer ID, customer profile. Whereas if you go to school or college, student ID. The entity is same everywhere. Manishi same. కానీ మనల్ని కాల్ చేసే pronouns will be different from domain to domain. If you go to hospital, you are a patient. If you go to university, you are a student. If you buy some product from the online, you will be a customer. Clear? If you go to through airport or somewhere, you will be treated as passenger. మనం సేమ్, కానీ డిఫరెంట్ ప్లేస్లో డిఫరెంట్ విధాలుగా కాల్ చేస్తారు. ఎప్పుడైనా ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తున్నప్పుడు ఆ రెలవెంట్ డొమైన్ బేస్డ్ కీవర్డ్స్ యూ సపోజ్ టు బి స్పెసిఫైడ్, బికాస్ వన్స్ యూ లీవ్, ప్రాజెక్ట్ మేనేజర్ విల్ రీడ్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, టీమ్ లీడర్ విల్ రీడ్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, team members might read your program, but everybody should be in a position to understand what does it mean of. నీకోసం నువ్వు రాయట్లేదు ప్రోగ్రామ్, నువ్వు ఏదో ఒక రోజు వెళ్ళిపోతావు. ఎవడు 50 సంవత్సరాల కంపెనీలో వర్క్ చేయడు, 2 ఏళ్ళు వర్క్ చేస్తా రిజైన్ చేసి వెళ్ళిపోతాం. కానీ ప్రోగ్రామ్ని ఎన్హాన్స్ చేయాలి కదా ఫ్యూచర్లో, ఏదో ఒకటి సంథింగ్ అయితే చేంజ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ మట్ బి దేర్. గ్రేట్. ఓకే, నౌ ఐఎమ్ రైటింగ్ file pointer. You see, as soon as it is detected as recognized as a file pointer, it is able to record it. That's called as a prototype of a particular entity or maybe an object. Okay, file pointer dot, there is a method is called as a write method. Are you seeing? Great.